Michael Corinthos returns, the WSB conspiracy that could tear apart the family. Michael Corinthos' dramatic return to Port Charles during the 2025 Nurses' Ball has sent shockwaves through the community. But beneath the surface of family reunions and custody battles lies a far more sinister web of deception involving his sister Josslyn and the shadowy operations of Jack Brennan's WSB. As Michael pieces together the events that transpired during his 3-month absence in Germany, he's uncovering a conspiracy that threatens not only his family's safety but also his sister's future, setting the stage for a confrontation that could expose the WSB's darkest secrets. Michael's journey from Germany to Port Charles. Michael's return to Port Charles represents more than just a family reunion. It marks the end of a harrowing medical journey that began with an explosion that left him with third-degree burns covering over 40% of his body. The decision to send Michael to a specialized clinic in Germany was not made lightly. With his family torn between the proximity of Johns Hopkins and the promise of scar-free recovery offered by European medical expertise, Carly's determination to secure the best possible treatment for her son led to Jack Brennan's involvement in securing Michael's placement at the Baden-Baden clinic. During his months-long recovery in Germany, Michael was not merely focused on physical healing. His unexpected return during the Nurses' Ball suggests careful planning and timing that coincides with the escalating custody battle over his children Wiley and Amelia. The strategic nature of his return, particularly given the shocked reactions of Willow and Drew, indicates that Michael has been monitoring the situation in Port Charles far more closely than anyone realized. The physical and emotional transformation Michael underwent during his recovery has prepared him for the battles ahead. His experience with pain, isolation, and the slow process of healing has given him a new perspective on family loyalty and the lengths people will go to protect those they love. This perspective becomes crucial as he begins to unravel the web of deception surrounding his sister's recent activities. Josslyn's recruitment into the WSB. The most disturbing discovery awaiting Michael upon his return is the revelation that his sister Josslyn has been recruited into the WSB as an undercover agent. The circumstances surrounding her recruitment reveal a pattern of manipulation and exploitation that began with Jack Brennan's calculated involvement in her quest for justice. Following Dex Heller's murder, what appeared to be Brennan helping Josslyn seek justice for her deceased boyfriend was actually an elaborate recruitment strategy designed to assess her potential as a WSB operative. Josslyn's transformation from college student to WSB agent began when she discovered evidence that Cyrus Renault was responsible for killing Dex. Brennan provided her with breadcrumbs of information, leading her to a cabin where she ultimately killed Cyrus in self-defense. Rather than treating this as a traumatic incident requiring support and counseling, Brennan saw it as an opportunity to exploit Josslyn's vulnerability and desire for justice. The recruitment process reveals Brennan's sophisticated understanding of psychological manipulation. He presented Josslyn with a choice between returning to her environmental science studies or embracing a career where she could make a difference in the world. By framing the WSB work as noble and necessary while simultaneously holding her killing of Cyrus as potential leverage, Brennan created a situation where Josslyn felt she had no real choice but to comply. The timing of Josslyn's first assignment and her apparent role in facilitating Michael's return adds another layer of complexity to the situation. Evidence suggests that Josslyn may have used her WSB connections to ensure Michael received information about the custody hearing and was able to return to Port Charles at the crucial moment. This would mean that even her efforts to help her family have been conducted under the auspices of the organization that exploited her trauma. Brennan's web of deception. Jack Brennan's manipulation of Josslyn represents a pattern of behavior that extends far beyond individual recruitment tactics. His involvement in securing Michael's treatment in Germany was not purely altruistic but rather part of a larger strategy to position himself advantageously within the Corinthos family dynamics. By appearing to help during Michael's medical crisis, Brennan established himself as a trusted ally while simultaneously creating opportunities to manipulate vulnerable family members. The WSB director's romantic pursuit of Carly adds another dimension to his manipulation strategy. By positioning himself as Carly's potential romantic interest, Brennan gains access to intimate family information and creates emotional leverage that can be used to influence family decisions. His ability to secure Michael's placement in the German clinic demonstrated his power and resources while creating a debt of gratitude that he could later exploit. Brennan's recruitment of Josslyn while maintaining his relationship with Carly represents a profound betrayal of trust that goes beyond professional opportunism. He exploited a young woman's grief and desire for justice while simultaneously pursuing a romantic relationship with her mother, creating a web of deception that compromises the entire family's safety and autonomy. The fact that Josslyn was instructed to tell no one about her WSB involvement, including her mother, demonstrates the deliberate fracturing of family trust that Brennan orchestrated. The revelation that Brennan had photographic evidence of Cyrus with a knife behind decks suggests that he had been monitoring the situation long before Josslyn became involved. This indicates premeditation in his recruitment strategy and raises questions about how many other crimes and incidents he may have orchestrated or allowed to occur to further his agenda. Michael's discovery and investigation. Michael's return to Port Charles has been marked by his keen observation of family dynamics and his ability to piece together information that others have missed. His months away from the immediate emotional turmoil of Port Charles have given him the perspective needed to see patterns and connections that those caught in day-to-day drama might overlook. The fact that Josslyn appeared less surprised by his return than others suggests that she may have been in contact with him, potentially through WSB channels. Michael's investigative instincts, honed through years of navigating Corinthos family crises, are now focused on understanding how his family members have been manipulated during his absence. His discovery of Josslyn's WSB involvement would naturally lead him to question the circumstances of her recruitment and the motivations of those who facilitated it. The timing of his return, coinciding with the custody hearing, suggests careful planning that may have been influenced by information he received through unofficial channels. The confrontation between Michael and those who have manipulated his family represents more than personal vendettas about protecting future generations from the same exploitation. His ultimatum to Willow regarding her relationship with Drew demonstrates his willingness to take decisive action when he believes his children's welfare is at stake. This same protective instinct would naturally extend to his sister's involvement with dangerous intelligence operations. Michael's position as someone who has been both inside and outside the family dynamic during this critical period gives him unique insight into how external forces have influenced family decisions. His ability to see Brennan's manipulation for what it is stems from his own experience with powerful figures who present themselves as allies while pursuing their own agendas. The confrontation and demand for justice. The inevitable confrontation between Michael and Brennan represents a collision between two very different forms of power and influence. Michael's return has shifted the family dynamics in ways that threaten Brennan's carefully constructed web of influence. As someone who has experienced firsthand the consequences of violence and manipulation, Michael is uniquely positioned to recognize and challenge Brennan's exploitation of his sister. Michael's demand that Josslyn withdraw from the WSB stems from his understanding of the organization's true nature and the danger it poses to family members. His experience with trauma and recovery has given him insight into how vulnerable people can be exploited during moments of grief and crisis. The fact that Brennan recruited Josslyn during her mourning for Dex represents exactly the kind of predatory behavior that Michael is determined to stop. The exposure of Brennan's manipulation tactics could have far-reaching consequences beyond the Corinthos family. If Michael can prove that Brennan systematically exploited grieving family members and manipulated tragic circumstances for recruitment purposes, it could undermine the WSB director's position and credibility within the intelligence community. This makes the confrontation potentially dangerous, as Brennan has significant resources and few scruples about how he uses them. Michael's protective instincts toward Josslyn mirror his approach to the custody battle with Willow, where he's willing to use all available legal and emotional leverage to protect his children. His demand that Josslyn leave the WSB is not just about family loyalty but about preventing her from being used as a pawn in games she doesn't fully understand. The stakes are particularly high because Josslyn's WSB involvement could be used to target or manipulate other family members in the future. Implications for family and future. The revelation of Brennan's manipulation of Josslyn has profound implications for the entire Corinthos family structure and their relationships with law enforcement and intelligence agencies. If Michael succeeds in exposing Brennan's recruitment tactics, it could provide valuable leverage in other family legal battles while simultaneously protecting family members from future exploitation. However, it also carries the risk of making the family targets for retaliation from powerful government agencies. Michael's return and his confrontation with Brennan represents a turning point in how the Corinthos family relates to external authorities and power structures. His willingness to challenge a WSB director demonstrates the same fearlessness that has characterized his family's approach to organized crime, but applied to a different kind of threat. This shift could signal a new phase in the family's evolution, where they're equally prepared to fight institutional manipulation as they are street-level violence. The success or failure of Michael's efforts to extract Josslyn from the WSB will likely determine how the family approaches similar threats in the future. If he can successfully challenge Brennan's authority and protect his sister, it establishes a precedent for resisting institutional manipulation. If he fails, it could leave the family more vulnerable to future exploitation by government agencies and intelligence organizations. The broader implications extend beyond immediate family protection to questions about how intelligence agencies operate within American communities and the ethical boundaries of recruitment tactics. Michael's confrontation with Brennan could expose systemic problems within the WSB that affect other families and communities, making this personal battle part of a larger struggle for accountability and justice. Next, we will dive deep into the simmering romantic tensions and passionate possibilities heating up the streets of Port Charles. As the drama unfolds on the ABC soap opera, several characters are on the brink of steamy encounters that could change their lives forever. From unexpected friendships blossoming into fiery romances to old flames threatening to reignite, we're breaking down for dynamic pairings whose chemistry is simply too electric to ignore. Buckle up, because the romantic stakes in General Hospital have never been higher. And we've got all the juicy details plus some imaginative twists and deeper insights into what might lie ahead for these couples. 1. Giovanni Joe Palmieri and Emma Scorpio Drake, a budding romance ready to ignite. First on our list is the adorable yet emotionally charged connection between Giovanni Joe Palmieri and Emma Scorpio Drake. Ever since Gio's world was turned upside down by shocking revelations about his family ties, he's found a steady source of comfort in Emma, a friend who understands the chaos of growing up in Port Charles. Their bond, initially rooted in shared experiences and late-night confessions at Kelly's Diner, has been inching closer to something far more intimate. Picture this: a quiet evening at the pier, the two of them laughing over a shared milkshake, when a lingering glance turns into a heart-stopping moment of realization. The writers seem to be setting the stage for a romance that could start with tentative kisses under the moonlight before escalating into a full-blown passionate affair. What makes Joe and Emma's potential pairing so compelling is the slow-burn nature of their relationship. Unlike the whirlwind romances that often dominate soap operas, theirs feels grounded in genuine care and mutual respect. However, a twist could be on the horizon. Perhaps a misunderstanding involving Gio's newfound family connections could briefly derail their progress, only to bring them closer when Emma proves to be his rock. Fans can expect a series of tender, heartwarming scenes at the upcoming Port Charles Arts Festival, where Joe might surprise Emma with a small painting he's been working on, symbolizing their shared journey. As they navigate these uncharted waters, it's clear that their first passionate encounter will be a long-awaited milestone, likely happening in a cozy, unexpected setting like Emma's family cabin during a winter storm. Stay tuned, because this duo's story is just beginning to heat up. 2. Josslyn and Vaughn, A Dangerous Dance of Desire. Next, we turn our attention to Josslyn and newcomer Vaughn, a pairing that promises to bring both passion and peril to the screen. After the heartbreaking loss of Dex Heller, Josslyn has been piecing her shattered heart back together, focusing on her studies and her role in the Corinthos family dynamics. Enter Vaughn, a mysterious figure with ties to the WSB and a charm that's hard to resist. Their connection, initially forged through a high-stakes mission involving coded messages and undercover operations, has the makings of a classic soap opera fling. Imagine Josslyn, adrenaline pumping after a narrow escape from danger, finding solace in Vaughn's arms as the two share a charged moment in a hidden safe house. While Josslyn and Vaughn may not be destined for a fairy tale ending, their chemistry could lead to a series of intense, no-strings-attached encounters that leave Josslyn questioning her priorities. Could Vaughn's enigmatic past, perhaps a secret connection to a long-lost Port Charles resident, add layers of complexity to their dynamic? Their story might unfold with clandestine meetings at the Metro Court rooftop, where whispered confessions and stolen kisses become their norm. However, a word of caution for Josslyn fans: Vaughn's dangerous lifestyle could put her in the crosshairs of a new villain lurking in the shadows, testing her resilience and possibly forcing her to choose between passion and safety. Their fiery interactions are sure to keep viewers on the edge of their seats, wondering if this is merely a rebound or the start of something deeper. 3. Dante Falconeri and Brooklyn Quartermain. Temptation threatens to tear vows apart. In a more complicated and morally gray corner of Port Charles, we have Dante Falconeri and Brooklyn Quartermain, whose shared history and current circumstances are setting the stage for a scandalous turn of events. Brooklyn, now married to the steadfast Harrison Chase, finds herself drawn into Dante's orbit as the two work together to support Joe through his turbulent family drama. Meanwhile, Dante has officially closed the chapter on his romantic ties with Lulu Spencer, leaving his heart vulnerable to old feelings resurfacing. The air crackles with tension whenever these two share a scene, whether it's a heated argument at the Quartermain mansion or a quiet moment of understanding over coffee at Charlie's pub. The potential for a passionate encounter between Dante and Brooklyn feels like a ticking time bomb. Picture a late-night stakeout to protect Joe, where exhaustion and unresolved emotions lead to a forbidden kiss, or perhaps something even more daring in the back seat of Dante's unmarked police car. The stakes are sky high, as Brooklyn's marriage to Chase hangs in the balance, and Dante grapples with his sense of duty versus his desires. To add a fresh twist, suppose a long-buried secret from their past, a shared moment during a chaotic event at the nurses' ball years ago, comes to light, intensifying their pull toward one another. Will they give in to temptation during a vulnerable moment at the upcoming Thanksgiving celebration at the Quartermain estate, surrounded by family chaos that masks their stolen glances? This storyline promises to explore the messy, irresistible nature of forbidden attraction, leaving fans torn between rooting for redemption or reveling in the drama of a full-blown affair. 4. Cody Bell and Molly Lansing Davis, a slow simmer to a steamy future. Finally, let's talk about Cody Bell and Molly Lansing Davis, a pairing that's been quietly building momentum with every charged interaction. While Cody's storyline has had its teeters, including a possible rekindling with Lulu if the winds of fate blow in that direction, the narrative seems to be steering him toward a significant connection with Molly. Their dynamic, rooted in shared vulnerabilities and late-night conversations at the stables where Cody works, has all the hallmarks of a romance that could go from sweet to scorching in the blink of an eye. Imagine a rainy evening where Molly, seeking advice on a personal crisis, finds herself stranded at the stables, leading to an impromptu dance in the hayloft as thunder rumbles outside. What's intriguing about Cody and Molly is the potential for their relationship to evolve into a true love story, one built on trust and mutual growth rather than just physical attraction. However, the road to passion won't be smooth. Perhaps Molly's lingering ties to her past with T.J. Ashford create friction, or Cody's own insecurities about his place in Port Charles society threaten to sabotage their budding romance. A new plot twist could involve Cody uncovering a hidden talent for poetry, writing verses for Molly that reveal his depth and win her heart during a quiet moment at the annual Port Charles Book Fair. Their first passionate encounter might take place in an unexpected location, like a secluded corner of the park during a late-night charity event, where the glow of fairy lights sets the perfect backdrop for stolen kisses. Fans who've been rooting for these two to take the leap will likely see their patience rewarded with some of the most heartfelt and heated scenes of the season. Wrapping up the sizzling speculations. As we wrap up this deep dive into the romantic undercurrents of General Hospital, it's clear that Port Charles is a hotbed of desire, temptation, and unexpected connections. Whether it's the youthful spark between Joe and Emma, the dangerous allure of Josslyn and Vaughn, the forbidden pull of Dante and Brooklyn, or the slow-burning promise of Cody and Molly, each pairing offers a unique blend of drama and passion that keeps us glued to our screens. The writers have masterfully set the stage for heart-pounding moments and emotional roller coasters, ensuring that the upcoming episodes will be packed with surprises. What twists and turns await these couples? Will love triumph, or will heartbreak reign supreme? Keep watching ABC General Hospital to find out, and let us know in the comments which pairing you're most excited to see ignite. Until next time, stay tuned for more spoilers and speculations right here on our channel.